Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're live. It's happening. I got the sound right. It's a Christmas miracle.
We're not on time. So apologies about that.
Wait. We are. That's literally YouTube telling us that we're here.
I was going to say, is that a notification about
Welcome.
us?
Yes, if you've seen the title, we confess our worst drunk Christmas disasters. Embarrassing. Is it clickbait? No, we've been awful at Christmas. So get ready for that. But there's a reason.
My drunk stories are for life, not just Christmas.
They are lifelong. 100%. It's
I don't just save my embarrassment for Christmas time. I like to do it every year.
Why do that? Why save it? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed with this shirt that I bought yesterday.
Aw.
I thought it was going to be like a nice, cool, oversized thing. And it is oversized in like this way. But it comes down to like halfway down my bum cheeks. And it's not the style I'm looking for.
Oh,
it's
no.
like wide and that. And it's just, look at me.
You're the original Santa Claus. He was green originally, wasn't he? He had a green
He sure
suit.
was. What made him red?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. And
The power of branding and advertising.
100%. Did I tell the story last time?
I've realised that I have not been asked out once.
Calm down.
What?
About me calling my best friend's mum at the time to settle an argument with my mum about the colour of Santa.
No. Let's start with this story. Were you drunk?
So if you no, I actually wasn't. It was during my GCSEs because we were doing a Christmas Carol, which I absolutely love. It was amazing, and it was read to me by Mr. Elliot. And if you've been here before, you know that he got me that B that I deserve, and I wished B was mine. But anyway, moving on. I loved the story, and in that story, I learned because it describes Saint Nicholas as green, and I got home talking about it to Mum. My mum was like, "Oh, it's a book. It's a storybook. It's not true." And I was like, "No, honestly, Coca-Cola made him red." And I was like excited to tell her, and she was just like, "No,
Not having it.
And if you know, if the ADHD brain, you got to like, this is not fair. I'm not being believed right now, and I'm telling the truth. I'm going to do everything I can." So I rang the most knowledgeable person I could.
This is like literally Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but before it was even set up. Phone a friend.
I wasn't having it. Mum, you're not showing me up.
In front of no one.
In front of no one. So, and it was literally about 8 o'clock at night. I rang my best friend Erin and I said, "Can you put your mum on, please?" And have her explain to my mum how Santa used to be green.
And here you are repping him.
I will remember her answer to this day. She didn't even question it. She was like, a little bit strange. Like, okay. Put my mum on and I heard I literally, loudspeak. We all sat round the telephone while she explained to us that across the world, he is all different colours. And yes, indeed, in Western countries, he was green. And Coca-Cola made him red. But she went on, if you go to somewhere like Egypt, he's depicted as purple and gold and all these
beautiful.
And I was just like, and that memory will stick in my life forever in my brain.
Christmas ornament was Santa wearing a gold suit.
Gold Santa.
Yeah.
Gold Santa.
Well, this week we also learned about Krampus, the counterpart to Santa.
Tell us about Krampus. Wait, I want to know in the chat first. Hey girls, hi girls. Have you heard of Krampus? Have you ever heard of
t-shirts? So we've gone for the Santa look, not the Krampus look.
Just do this, shouldn't I? Should.
I have found out though that there is a
the Christmas
Krampus style festival. So maybe next year we'll have to go and check it out.
Krampus style festival. Okay, first we need to understand. What is Krampus and what festival are we going to? Because we went to one last year and that turned out bad vibes. So,
so in morning meeting at the school, one of the teachers brought it to our attention that in our country, in England, that we're kind of the one that has just got the nicey version of it, and that actually across Europe there's still tales from. I think you said it was from the pagan kind of times, but there's this creature called Krampus who also goes around with Santa, and Santa gives presents to the good kids and Krampus beats the bad kids with a stick. So if you need if it's not working anymore with the Santa's watching, I would get Krampus out, because that man is scary. He's a bad man.
No kid fears a lump of coal anymore. We need to
get Krampus out and his stick, and he's got horns, and he's from the underworld.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like there's some adults that could be dealt with by Krampus himself too. That could be
Apparently this festival, they go on this big walk, and there's flames, and everyone's playing music, and it's all very like creepy and eerie, and it sounds right up my street.
So is it like, I'm guessing it's where the sort of naughty and nice thing originally comes from, having this. So if you're a kid going to something like this, do you find out if you are naughty or nice, whether you get Santa or Krampus?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd really need to look into it a little bit more myself. Yeah, I think.
Does he both go to every house, and depending on what ratio to good and bad you wear is how they collaborate?
I wonder if when Krampus was part of the story, it was before the whole kind of coming down the chimney and leaving toys, before it really developed into the full tale. It was probably more when they just go to the village, visit the kids, beat the naughty ones, give gifts to the good ones, on to the next village. Bob's your uncle, get Krampus back.
Hashtag bring back Krampus. When you got here and you were like, I've learnt about Krampus, I thought you'd said crumpets wrong.
Well, first I might have said Krampus, and then thought, no, I think his name's Krampus. So I might still be saying it wrong. And hit me up if you do know what I'm kind of talking about, because I'm sure that I've only got very basic details going on here.
100%. I have got no idea. But Lou says she's heard about Krampus this week too.
Me or?
It's funny, yeah.
Let's me chatting.
So yeah,
what do you know?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel left out. I feel left out of the Krampus hype. Like, I need to learn more about Krampus, because I'm not being funny. I'd have probably been visited more by him as a child than Santa.
More about him than St. Nick.
100%.
So before we start the intro, I've got you a little gift. It's not a gift, it's just something for right now. So last week I mentioned that I was going to go to M&S and check out their sober range, alcohol-free range.
Okay.
I got totally excited. I was so excited to go there, filmed it and everything. But then when I got there was a real big range, and I started looking, and there was only one thing that was 0 alcohol. The rest of it was low. It was this huge range that I got really excited about. And my thing is, this year I said I was going to go without alcohol. So yeah, in future I could potentially go for one of the low alcohol options. It was 0.5%. But obviously for right now, when I'm saying no alcohol, I thought, well, I can't really be buying this 0.5% stuff. So
not this Christmas.
So I was very disappointed. Big boo about that. That didn't pan out. But then that set me off searching for some special drinks for Christmas Day, because I thought, well, I've not actually treated myself to an extra expensive bottle of wine this year or anything like that. So I was having a look, seeing what was out there, and I settled on some CBD drinks. So I've brought us one each to try.
Wow.
This evening.
I've never tried any CBD products.
Oh, wow. Well, this is one thing we're drinking now. I've got all podcasts to drink it then and enjoy it, and also to see if we do feel any effects. I'm not sure. But yeah, by the end we might just be like,
it's a loosey-goosey time.
That's the sleep.
Yeah, forget the Christmas stories. I want to tell you something. You have to start getting really like, I love you. Oh yeah, you've been here and I love you. Well, see you in the chat and I love you.
I went for this particular brand because it has 30 mg of CBD in it rather than the standard 15.
Ooh, high dosage. Let's go.
You can choose which flavour you'd like, because I'll be trying them all across the Christmas period anyway.
I appreciate that. So we have passion fruit and pomelo.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What is pomelo? And blood orange and grapefruit. I'm not going to lie. The blood orange and grapefruit sounds amazing. I'm not sure what pomelo is, so
yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm going to hand off the risk to you. Do you want to? Shall I Google what that is before we do anything?
Yeah, and oh my goodness, this is great. It says it's a drink infused with CBD and vitamin D.
Ooh, now that is what I need right now. That is what I am lacking.
That's really cool, isn't it? Because vitamin D is the thing that we've been talking about getting extra of this time of year.
That sun, I've not seen him. Like I said, he came out for a little bit, didn't he, last week? A few days ago, sorry. Apart from that, I've not seen him for about 2 weeks. The sun and the vitamin D is not hitting me.
Well, this drink is going to do the trick.
The pomelo.
Looks like a lemon.
Is a family fruit. I can't see that.
Oh, citrus fruit.
So that does look very much like.
Oh, an ancestor of the grapefruit. And this has got grapefruit in it. So it's obviously got that kind of taste. Heart.
Show you guys. Sorry, I can't find my mouse. Can never find my mouse. It was out of the way.
Pomelo.
I can't see anything with that. That is a pomelo. Has anyone had a pomelo? I've never seen or heard of this in my life.
I've not, but I'm very glad that I have now. We've learned something new already. We're only a few minutes in.
Festive occasions throughout Southeast Asia and East Asia, commonly consumed. Okay, so I feel like this is going to be the new avocado. Like, I think we're going to be seeing... You're going to be seeing more of pomelo, is what I'm saying. You're going to be seeing more of her.
I am just contemplating whether the bathroom is free out there and whether I'll have time to run to the bathroom during the intro. Challenge
timer. That could be quite funny.
30 seconds.
I think it's about 19.
Oh my goodness.
There's no way, but if anyone can do it,
I'm going to get ready.
You.
I'm going to get ready now because then at least when it comes back on and I'm not here, I'm going to open your drink and try it. Then I can open mine when I get back.
I'm going to time it for when you've climbed out of all these lights.
Okay.
I'm going to give her a fair chance. So off you go. I will let her get out. She's climbing under all the wires, past the ring light, and she's out the door.
Why is it like this? Haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
I thought she was back on time and it wasn't. It was my mum coming back through. But literally, as I transitioned over, I saw this arm come in. I was like, why is she just... That's incredible.
I had a body double. That's how resourced we are here.
We helped you. Did anyone else go for a wee during that break? I feel like...
Just going back to Krampus, Lou has validated, confirmed my... retake on it that pretty much the same.
Yeah, the works party quiz, lol, pretty much same as you after naughty children. Wow.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Naughty kids, you better watch out.
Ain't it? To this now I want to understand, like, to what extent did you have to be naughty?
That's all that.
Smells really nice.
Yeah, it smells really lovely. I mean, passion fruit, I was thinking it might be a bit sweet, but looking up that pomelo is a grapefruit.
Citrusy. Yeah, I feel like
I'm going in.
Now I've smelt yours. I'm worried mine won't be. Subtle, but it's a really nice smell.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that tastes good because a few people have said to me, "Oh, the CBD drinks don't taste that nice."
Not sponsored, but
if you want to sponsor us, get at us.
Cheers, good rave.
Yeah, cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So not completely sober, just alcohol free. Nice.
It's not the worst drink. There's a slight aftertaste that, again, I'm really sensitive to stuff.
The aftertaste is probably the CBD.
It's that it disappears. And it's my problem because I like sugary, or at least like false sugary tasting stuff where like the last bit of the taste is like the zing. Whereas like I'd say half of the taste is there. That's it. Yeah. I'm not a sparkling water fan.
Yeah, I mean, this to me reminds me of one of my most favourite drinks that I just found just before I went sober was that sparkling water with vodka type thing.
Oh God, sparkling. That just sounds like. Does it not just taste of water, of vodka, and then like fizzy water to me tastes like white noise.
Like, yeah, I completely agree, but I like that taste. I quite like that kind of just like almost like tangy kind of sparkling water taste.
No, I'm 3 like sips in, and I could finish that.
I really like that.
Is really nice.
That reminds me of the alcoholic drinks I was drinking before. So, yeah, it's a thumbs up from me. I'll be finishing this as we.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. What are the? Feel like do a body checking. What's happening right now?
Relax and unwind.
I've my shoulders are tense as anything.
My back's quite tense actually, so we'll see if it makes us feel more relaxed.
I'm trying to like read all the signals of the body. Yeah, maybe a little bit nervous because I'm on camera. Let's see. I'm gonna keep sipping away.
I like it.
So, sober Christmas. The reason we are drinking non-alcoholic drinks. This helps me talk. Some non-alcoholic drinks to celebrate Christmas. We are talking about being sober at Christmas because
I'm sober.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But it's got to be throughout the whole year you've been doing this. Mm-hmm. This is like the ultimate last test, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a doozy because even your nan's drinking at Christmas. Do you know what I mean? She's there with her little tipple, or your granddad or whatever. It is ingrained in this festive period, whether you celebrate with your Jewish loved ones or your Islamic loved ones, all the different faiths around the world. There's going to be at some point, unless your faith is against drinking.
Yeah, some kind of cheers or a moment where you're going to get the alcohol out.
Definitely. And if it's not in a glass, it's in the food somehow. There's no escaping it. It's in ice cream. It's in pies. It's in your gravy. It's in chocolates.
It just tastes good in gravy, though.
Do you know what? It's normally like a beef gravy, right, that you'd put that in.
Red wine, ooh.
I've never been a fan of red wine. I find like it's like... just vinegar. I don't know.
The right red wine. There's one red wine that I miss that's it says something like that it's brewed or whatever in a rum soaked barrel, and it's got such a rich taste to it. Oh, it was so tasty.
In a rum soaked barrel. An oak soaked barrel.
There are certain drinks. Well, to be fair, I just liked all alcohol.
Yeah, I think that's me. I need like it to taste really fruity and not like alcohol at all. There was a moment in time where I liked gin, but very quickly it made me sick, and now it just tastes like earwax.
I was never a gin fan. That's about the only one. I've got something in my eye. It's like this fluff from this hat. It gets everywhere.
That is literally my life. Feel free to go and get it out. I'm happy to stop the whole thing and literally
just wait.
Just wait for that. It's annoying because you're like, oh, I think I've got it, and then you're not.
It'll probably come
and then a few more blinks later, you're like, nope, it's touching my eyeball again.
I can feel it, but it's...
I'm trying to think. I've got a mirror to pass to.
Okay, don't worry, I've got my phone. I can check on there if I need to.
Is it not the worst thing ever? I always got things like that when I'd have to like present something at school.
With you like winking at somebody.
No, fine.
So this is the thing with not drinking at Christmas. Most people wake up on Christmas Day and have an alcoholic drink for breakfast, right? Or at least like that's the kind of feel of the day.
I asked my mum when we came in, didn't I? Like, could you drink with that? Could you have a Christmas without drinking? Very quickly, very honestly, no. Why not? Because you have to drink at Christmas. And I said, well, what would you say someone who suffers from addiction? And she said, well, I wouldn't tell them that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She would alter her
she's
response.
not evil.
Yeah.
But it just highlights the very, like, not everyone's like us thinking about, like, all these nuances in life. Some people are just living their lives 9 to 5, doing the thing. And this idea of being sober curious, even when you're not suffering from any kind of addiction, just wanting to try it can be very foreign and almost like impossible.
The foreign feel from people tends to be as well, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you go without? Why would you, put yourself through that? But actually what a lot of people are finding is they're loving it. So then they're like, well, actually, I'm not going without, or I'm not putting myself through anything. But it's definitely the perspective from the outsider looking in. And I heard an interview in the week where they said, oh, blah, 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 whatever his name was, his age. He's been sober for 2 years, and then carried on with the story. But had I have heard that myself last year, I'd have thought, oh, poor him. Imagine having to go without.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand why that's the natural kind of thought pattern is, oh, can you imagine Chris without beer? Like,
Definitely.
or Baileys, or, it's just...
Yeah, exactly. It's so intertwined. And like, you ask people like, because there is pros of drinking, there is these things, but I feel like this is a really good opportunity to bounce these things off you that people think are like the law. Think they are just, but they're not. It's just things we've been made to believe are.
Well, because I've already been sober all year, so my perspective has already changed towards alcohol. As Christmas is approaching, the things that I'm looking forward to is kind of indulging a little bit eating wise, because all the supermarkets have got all these fabulous buffet foods and things that you wouldn't usually have.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And the alcohol hadn't even crossed my mind because that part's already been tackled throughout the year. Yeah. You see what I mean? And the same things that I would be looking forward to, such as having a lazy Christmas day, staying in something comfy all day, eating loads of food. I'm still excited about reading my new books. I'm still excited about the same things. Alcohol's just been removed from the equation.
100%. And I feel like even just you talking openly, someone who's thinking about it but thinking, oh God, it's just not possible, it's just not doable, especially not next year, I've just not got the time or the patience. I need to. And yeah, I feel like you'll be a good person to help inspire that move.
What is the arm part on your t-shirt? Kat is saying it's a little tag that says ho ho ho.
I didn't even notice that.
Ho ho ho. We just need our third ho. But
I'm gonna say,
distract too much because what you were just saying then had really got me thinking, which was the enjoyment factor. You think that you're not going to enjoy life without alcohol is definitely something that I have rediscovered, that I do absolutely enjoy life without alcohol. I don't feel like I missed out there. And then the stress relief thing. So if you're curious and you're thinking, well, next year I can't because it's going to be stressful, it's bizarre how much better I cope with stress. Before, I'd get stressed and I'd immediately turn to a bottle of wine. But then I suppose then what was happening was 2 or 3 days after that, there'd be more impacting on me because I'd be hungover and I'd be tired and this, that and the other. Whereas now, if I'm stressed, I'm dealing with it in other ways and then just getting on with life again the next day. I'm not hungover.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've written down before we started this, like the pros, if there are any. And there are some to some people, but it's to the people that are thinking that maybe I can't do this, that we're trying to prove to you that these aren't as set in stone as they feel like they are. So things like sociability, people thinking that they can hold a conversation better, that they can have more fun with other people, like they can entertain other people better if they're more loosened up or
and
got their barriers down.
I do really feel that that's a big genuine reason for people drinking, and it's hard to say it's a pro because why are they feeling that anxious in the first place? 100%. They feel like they need a drink to, and I totally get it,
Yeah, we say a lot, don't we? Like it's a societal thing. Oh, if you want to relax, just have a glass of wine. If you want to get through something, just have a beer and just get on with it, sort of thing. And it's a very short-term, not very healthy solution. So, it's not really a pro, is it?
I'm reading about nicotine addiction because that's obviously the thing that I'm going to kick next year. And it's saying about how actually you think that a cigarette or nicotine is relieving the stress, but you've only got that stress in the first place that needs relieving because you've got a nicotine addiction. Exactly. And actually, once you can break out of that cycle and the brainwashing element of feeling like this is my stress reliever, that actually it makes it easier to quit. And reflecting now on alcohol, I'm like, yeah, totally. I totally thought it was my stress reliever, and it totally isn't.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's exactly the same as scratching eczema. you scratch because you've got an itch, but then you only itch because you just scratched and inflamed the skin more.
Yeah.
So more than, do you know what I mean? It's a vicious cycle, and it's exactly the same. So yeah, another reason that some people might think that it's good to drink at Christmas is because it's tradition. Like we said, like it is very much ingrained. And while that is true, while there are certain things, you know, a sip of wine at midnight mass, for example, like there's certain things that people say, oh, it's just a tiny little bit, it's just this. And yet there's going to be many of these things that are completely fine and harmless. But again, to the person that's wanting to have a sober curious life or journey or year, whatever they're wanting to do, try and understand that some traditions, most current ones, are just ways to get you to spend money.
Yeah. And we did a thing on Christmas traditions a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And really, for me, traditions are made to be broken. You can only keep traditions can be actually quite restrictive. And I think a lot of people grab hold of traditions for a sense of security. It's like structure, and it's like, but we do that every year. That's what we do, though. But sometimes it's like, but what if I want to do something different this year? You know, and I do think we do have to question traditions every now and again. Are they serving their purpose still? Are they relevant still? Do you even understand where that tradition came from?
You're just doing it because the rest of the country seems to be doing it on that day. And if that's the reason, and deep down you think, I don't really want to be doing that, then don't.
And certainly the sip of a red wine at Mass, that represents Christ's blood. Yeah. Right. So surely you could get non-alcoholic red wine, red grape juice. The representation isn't the alcohol. It's the...
I'm pretty sure they have Ribena and stuff like that. That's
the kids and things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%.
Get creative about your traditions.
Yeah.
I mean, what is eggnog? Can anybody answer me this? What is eggnog?
Eggnog is the reason that I got way too tipsy the last time. We got together as some friends. Our first confession. The gingerbread making video, if you saw it, we were just supposed to make gingerbread men and make eggnog because I'd never had it before. We discussed how we'd never made it. So I bought some spiced rum, and then I went to buy the eggs, and as I was picking them up, and I just thought, this is going in a drink with... And I just thought, I don't even want it.
So it is eggs then?
Yes, it's egg whites. I didn't get further past the menu, past the recipe than that, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And again, traditions, not doing it. Don't need to try eggnog. I don't feel left out. So I just thought, I'll get some Coke Zero, and the girls can have a drink with the
rum. Yeah,
I did. I'm not a drinker, so I overpour by accident. I've always had this problem. I'm like, is that enough? Yep, okay.
I just two fingers it.
That sounds rude.
Just so you can see what I'm doing, as in like put two fingers, and then I use that as the measuring.
Oh, you put that on the glass, and then
I tip in and use that as the measurement.
Oh, okay, that kind of explains what I've been doing wrong.
Yeah, because you do a lot more than that. I mean, two fingers, that's much more because I was a waitress and not like a bartender, so it's like, you know, a good rough estimate of an actual portion.
I did bartending, but I always use them little measuring things. I don't know. I can't eyeball anything like that, and don't let me, because I will make you all drunk. And I'd just like to apologise to you because you and Giraffe.
I had a brilliant time there, and Rush wasn't too drunk, was she? But it was funny actually because I didn't. Again, if people are drinking, I'm just acting leery and hyper and stuff anyway, so they don't notice that I'm not drinking. Yeah. I forget that they're getting drunk, and then it's only about, I don't know, 90 minutes in or so when people start acting a bit different to what they usually do, or acting a bit daft, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, oh yeah, they're drunk, aren't they? It's so strange because
that's funny.
I'm so used to now my mindset not necessarily changing. That's just what it is, and I forget that those around me are getting more drunk.
That is literally the third pro to drinking that we found. I asked ChatGPT for this, I always do. Relaxation. So moderate consumption may help individuals to relax and enjoy the celebration more. We see this as like, to the people that aren't drinking, do they seem more relaxed, or do they seem like just a little bit more strange?
No, certainly not more relaxed. The people that are drinking are just getting more and more leery, louder, talking more you know, the whole I drink to relax thing, I think, maybe one drink enables you to relax. But once you go past that, you've got to start to get drunk. I mean, these are all about relaxing and wine. So if you are drinking to relax, then maybe do look at alternatives, because there are better ways to help the body relax.
Yeah, I'd like to retract my previous statement. This is amazing. It's really nice.
And oh goodness me, I just completely brain farted then, and I forgot what I was going to say about it was one of the it's all right it was one of the pros to do with people saying I drink because of this, but then actually it's sometimes the opposite. It doesn't actually cause that. I can't remember now.
Well, I might be able to jog your memory, because we're saying all those three things that we said seem like really make it impossible. Screw that. It's very possible to feel festive and have fun. We've been convinced that we need to do all these things to be part of the Christmas spirit, and it's not at all. Because do you remember when you were kids, you didn't have a drop of alcohol, and let's be honest, it was way more fun then.
That is literally what I fell back on to start this sober curiosity thing. I imagined those days when I'd be in my bedroom and I'd be so excited just purely about rearranging my bedroom or writing a story or creating some art, whatever idea I'd got in my head that I was going to do, and I'd be so excited about that whole day spanning out in front of me, and I didn't need alcohol to be excited about that.
100%.
Whereas once I got an adult, I'd still be excited about, I'm going to sit down tonight, I'm going to write a banging poem or whatever, but the alcohol, I'd be excited about the alcohol. Now I've removed it, it's so strange it's literally just taking itself out of my life.
I was reminded of this Christmas shopping yesterday for some nieces, and looking at all the toys and how Polly Pockets kind of changed back to how it used to be. And I was like, that's what Christmas was to me, a Polly Pocket.
Oh, yeah, I loved Polly Pockets.
Sorry, you were going to say something else happening in the chat.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that Kat said about 2 fingers is a double.
Still sounds rude.
2 fingers is a double. That.
I don't know why. It just sounds like an innuendo.
And then, 1 finger is a single. And I think actually that's quite a good point to make, because when you are drinking at home, people do overpour. And at the end of the day, those measurements are there to go along then with the guidelines of a safe amount to drink, or, so you're drinking over the party season, you've got a bottle of vodka, and, you're pouring these big measures. So you do get drunker quicker, you do get sicker quicker, you perhaps do end up in an embarrassing situation rather than having a good time quicker. So maybe, using the measurements, why does it have to make you gag?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I hadn't actually considered that.
That is the trouble, though, is a lot of the pressure, isn't it? Because it's more, if I used to say, oh, I'm all right, thank you, people would go, oh, come on, you pussy, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you wanting to poison yourself? But the trouble is, most people would go, oh, I'll go on then, I'll have one. And then they'll go, well, I only had one. And it's like, yeah, but the trouble is you didn't even want one. You had one because somebody else put their issues of, but I want one, so you've got to have one to make me feel better.
That is so true. There's so many, by proxy shots that are taken just because someone wants you to take a shot with them.
Yeah, and it's
like, that wasn't my idea, but here I am.
These are the things. So many of my nights that have gone wrong have gone wrong because I've had what I knew I could drink, but somebody else keeps buying shots, and I've kept doing them. I could easily not have done them, but they've gone, it's other people's influence that's then pushed it. Can I just go back to the chat, because not only is everybody loving Polly Pockets, but the best thing has been mentioned.
Are you about to say what I didn't?
Yeah, Sylvanian families.
That's what I've got my niece. She's obviously way too young to watch this, so she would know.
My goodness.
But they're expensive, man. And Smith's toys were on the rack. It was half price. Took them to the till, full price. 40 quid later, we've got 4 adult bunnies, 2 little baby bunnies with a pushchair. There's no house, there's no life going on. It's just these tiny little figures. But they are so cute. Did you used to watch the cartoon?
No, I didn't know there was a cartoon, but the Sylvanian families, my goodness. Me and my Bezzy Charlotte, when we was at primary school, shout out Charles, we used to make, we'd get, when the lawn, the field had been cut and there was all the dry grass, and we'd make Sylvanian houses out of all the grass, and we'd have all our Sylvanians in there. Oh, God.
You've been making land art since
Memories.
That's so cute. Sylvanian families are incredible.
Lou was saying her niece loves them as well, Sylvanian. Is there say niece? Yeah, it's just cross. Like.
They're not cheap, are they?
Well, that's the thing with branded anything, isn't it? If you want proper Lego, it's the branded stuff. Like, Lee's lad likes Star Wars. And you start
my word,
you look at Star Wars stuff, and it's just for the pencil case.
Yeah.
You know, it's double the price of the stationery because it's got the branding on it.
So please don't want Harry Potter's Hogwarts or whatever, because it's about 600 quid. Can't really justify that on Lego. Although, one day, should we have a Lego channel? I'll build Lego. That's fine with me. Yeah. Another problem with
don't drink, do Lego,
and you've just highlighted it yourself. People say that a bit of moderate consumption is good to help people relax. How often is it moderate? The whole festive period is about bigger, better, whether it's decorations or, like you said, supermarkets food at the minute, because they're charging a lot more. It is insane, and it is. There is a difference. It's cost more, but there's some better stuff out this year. Yeah. Every time I go to the supermarket, there's something else, something new, and I'm like, it's not even Christmas yet.
Do you know, in a way, though,
I'm on so much weight in my arms.
In a way, though, I find it quite overwhelming. When I go shopping and I see all of the choice and all of the selection, it actually gets me quite angry, because I know that I'm just going to get right just now, go on a rant. But it's like, I know that in the world there's so much, starvation and poverty, and even my own kids that I'm working with, that some of them are going through absolute hell at the minute. And then you go through the supermarkets and there's just one version of another, just of the same thing. Those little biscuits that are like different flavors and different shapes, but there's like a whole aisle dedicated just to them. And you just kind of think, do we really need all of this choice and all of this stuff? And then the thing is, there's frantic families buying it. It's like it creates this frenzied feeling of, oh goodness me, I need all this stuff, It's Christmas and I'd better stock up because we need everything in the cupboards. It's Christmas.
It's a lot. In Tesco's, it made me really mad, and I'll come out with it. Don't worry, it's not this why is everything £1.25. It's a genuine thing. In the cheese section, you have the cheese selection, don't you? Like the common, like they have a slice of like a quarter of brie, a camembert. There'll be like a Wensleydale and like a cheddar and Stilton. It's always together around £6 or £7. It's always been around £6 or £7. Next to it, currently in Tesco's, there is Tesco's Finest. That one has appeared. It's right next to it. That is £10. It is the exact same cheese. You can see it, like that bit of brie was next to that bit of brie on the same wheel. Like that's how the same. There's not more cheese. It's the exact same cheese. One is just in a Tesco's Finest packaging.
And the thing is, you fall for it, don't you? Because you do think, oh, it's Christmas, I just want the best. And, everyone deserves the best. And I just want to show everyone and blah, blah, blah.
I go nuts. I see it and I'm like, what's that? And it's like, stop shouting. You're in a supermarket. And I'm like, no, I'm pissed. And he's like, all right, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to make content about it. I'm going to make a TikTok video. That's what I'm going to do.
That's my problem. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my phone. So I'm there just like, I've just got to rant to somebody, and it's you. You're the closest person to hear me.
Kat's down for building Lego with you. Yay! Oh my goodness!
Got to buy it first.
In the new year, when we're dropping some like do it with me, body doubling type videos. We'll be like, I'll be there doing my cleaning, and Zev will be playing Lego. Like, yeah, pick your vice. What do you want to do? Do you want to clean, or do you want to make some Hogwarts characters?
If you think I'm not going to procrastinate at all during these body doubling sessions,
it's to be interesting, isn't it? 'Cause it'll be like, it'll come on the live Zoom, and you'll be sitting there, and I'll be in the middle of something.
I'm not even joking. I am the girl that sat and watched an entire exercise video.
No way.
From my sofa.
Oh my god.
I did start doing it, and I was like, whew, getting tired, thinking it was towards the end. So I sat down, and it did just end. And then he went, that was the intro. That was the warm-up. Now for the rest of it. And I was like, what? And so I just fast-forwarded, like, it just didn't speed the rest of it. And I was like, I could have done that. Done that the whole time. I just sat there like, maybe I'll get some lunch. And I sat eating lunch, watching the rest of it.
See, I would have turned it off and put Judge Judy back on.
Something about that, babe. I didn't want to give up.
Yeah. Also, did you know that you actually burn a very small amount of calories just by thinking of exercise? So just watching it was better than not watching it. That was making you think about it.
Just existing right now, I'm burning them calories just to be here, just to be alive. It's just energy. They'll always be burning calories, always doing it.
I love it. Well, so the pros, or what we've said, what ChatGPT has suggested as pros, but even so, I'm like, no, not a pro, not a pro. The sort of pros.
Not a pro. It's the most pro there is it's a tradition. It's a tradition. Bollocks. Oh wait, what time is it? Oh yeah.
Screw that.
Oh god, we're already like 40 minutes in.
Yes, quick. The cons.
So yeah, we basically just went through them. Excessive drinking leads to health and well-being issues. Family dynamics, let's be honest, we are not a Hallmark movie. We have issues that happen throughout the year, and we're not very good at dealing with those issues. And when we drink, we decide, now we deal with them.
Yeah,
for some reason.
I think that's a big thing, actually. I think families get together at Christmas, and any gripes or any unsaid issues, people start to have a few drinks, and then they perhaps start to talk about them, and the next thing you know, there's a big old row. Big old Christmas row.
You can just tell, can't you? It's always that same dude that's just like, maybe it's an uncle or a dad, and he's just a bit quiet in the start of the day, and you're like, what's up with him? And he's like, oh no, it's Christmas Day, it's a lot for him, innit? And you see as he starts having a drink, being like, that 50 quid I lent you last Sunday. It's like, oh God. Families don't need it. Do you know what I mean? They just don't need it, especially with the not being moderate.
Yeah, one of the interesting things as well is that measurement of having a good Christmas or a good night, depending on whether things kicked off. Now,
yeah, like the line of...
Yeah, it seems such a shame to approach a night out with the expectation or the barrier being a good night is one where it doesn't go wrong, and kind of just almost being hopeful that everybody will manage the poison and nobody will kick off and everything will go right.
It's like a really low barrier, and also just setting yourself up for failure still. Just, I don't know.
I mean, when I saw the title of this and it said confessions and all this, I've genuinely been trying to rack my brains and thinking, and the things that I have done drinking are either so shameful I wouldn't dream of confessing them. I'm certainly not ready to.
Or monetize so that she can quit her job and then she can tell us.
I can tell all and it wouldn't matter. Or they are other people, if you see what I mean. So it's like, yeah, that went wrong and that went wrong and that went, and it is always alcohol. Or I don't remember it because it's gone wrong. I've blacked out and I've not got the memory of it. But I'll wake up the next day and know something's gone wrong because I've not got a memory of the night.
Yeah.
And then just have to live with that horrible, sickly feeling until you can push it down enough that you forgot about it, or potentially done something else to take over from that one, you know?
Yeah. I'm very lucky in the fact that no one in my family is necessarily struggles with alcoholism. They may drink a lot, and that can get them into trouble, but there's no like serious medical issues that really need to be addressed. It's more just a social thing. But I've heard of like I've had friends that their dads or mums or whatever have got that drunk that they fell asleep on the kitchen floor while cooking. And one in particular's dad, I remember saying that, I hope they don't mind me sharing this. I'm almost certain that certainly won't, because without sharing the name, you won't have a clue who it is anyway. But the relationship with their dad was a little bit strange anyway, a little bit like scared of pushing too far with him. And it'd be like, I'm cooking Christmas dinner, but then he'd get trashed. And then he'd fall asleep, and if you tried to like fix it, and he woke up to you trying to fix it, he'd get like angry that you were trying to get involved, and like no, and it just sounds stressful. It sounds really horrible. So I'm so thankful that I don't experience anything like that at Christmas. I've just got annoying parents that end up repeating themselves over and over and over, and then my mum talks about how she likes Nigel Farage, and I've got to grit my teeth or get to the point where actually the champagne's kicked in now, and I'm about to give you an essay. And I'm not fun to argue with in those situations. I don't even want to be doing it. But my mouth can't stop.
Adds to that.
100%.
Like, do you think it makes you more likely to launch a righteous kind of like... Do you see what I mean? Like, rather than just brush it off and go, oh, it's just my mum.
What it gives me is this false sense of like, I know more than them. this already like this bravo thing of like, you know nothing, hold on. And then I'm like three like points into it, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah, what am I doing?
But there's some part of it that just can't let go, and I'm like, I don't even want to be like all the points you're making. I just no one's listening to each other. It's not like
that is the thing, isn't it? That what is the point of a debate when nobody's actually taking on board the other side? And that's the thing with alcohol. So this weekend I was out Friday and Saturday night, Christmas dues and Monday.
Not bad for us. Alcohol-free life, right?
And that's the thing. It's like, obviously I did all of them without alcohol, and I had a really interesting conversation about whether I feel like I'm missing out, because it got to about 10 o'clock on one of the nights, and I was ready. You know, I was ready to go home. I was done, and it was that kind of. But I'm done. But it's like, well, you're missing out because all your friends are here, and you're going to miss out on the rest of the night if you go now. And it really did get me thinking, am I missing out? Am I? Yeah, because it is only because I'm not drinking that I want to go now. If I was drinking, I would stay. Because I'd be involved a little bit more and not perhaps feeling as kind of tired or aware of it. But yeah, when I did really, really think it over, I decided, no, I'm not missing out, because the people that I'd gone to see, I'd made arrangements to meet up with. So it's like that had already been done. The things that the things that I'd want to discuss or have a laugh about or talk about, people were beyond that point. They were already drunk. So, you know, you can't have these conversations that you want to have with people when they're drunk anyway. So what was I missing out?
Yeah,
there might be a night where it's a club night. If there was dancing and stuff, I would stay out, because dancing is something that would keep me out, because it's something to do. But drunken conversations bore me anyway. Even when I was drunk, I'd be aware that no one's going to remember any of this. What is the point in us even going through this? Like,
that's almost highlights that it might feel like it's lubricating a social environment for other drinkers, but when you're with people that aren't drinking, you are not being more charming. You are not being more interesting.
No.
You're not being that more entertaining to be around. And I'd almost say treat it like you completely you can't connect now, because you've just said that facilitated conversation isn't happening right now. There's a block, which means we can't communicate, which means we might as well be speaking a different language. So treat that person that doesn't drink, if they're about ready to leave, that's because the translator has gone. The translator that helped you have that conversation before has gone home, and now there's no point that you don't want to be like, you want drink, like you don't want that for your night either. So I say bid your sober, your alcohol-free friend goodbye. Say have a good night. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, sleep well.
I'm gonna stay and have a good old jolly night with these people that want to drink with me, and I will see your beautiful soul soon.
What a lot of people are saying as well is nothing good happens after 11, and it's so true. It's like, because by that point everybody is drunk and being idiots. So it's not that nothing good happens after 11, it's the alcohol. If
we're all sober, it'd be great.
Yeah,
until 2 a.m.
we could carry on talking, and but it's usually after that time people are starting to get rowdy, get annoyed, repeat themselves, whatever it might be.
If you're on a stag do, that's about 4 p.m. It's changed.
If it's Christmas Day, that'll be 3 p.m.
Yeah, have you got any more stories before I?
Well, I've got a funny story about Christmas Day.
I want a funny story.
I don't know whether alcohol was involved.
I'm going to assume.
I think there was a row to do with maybe my dad wanted to go to the pub, maybe, because the row was over screw Christmas dinner. So it was. Me and my brother heard this like argument. I was only young, like getting more and more kind of like heated, and we're like looking at each other, looking at this floor or whatever, like. And then we heard it go out into the back garden, so we've like rushed over to my window and peeped out, and my mum and dad were in the back garden having a tug of war over a turkey. So maybe it was the day before Christmas, because it wasn't cooked, it was raw, and he was trying to toss it over the fence, and my mum was desperately holding on to it like that. He was like.
That's so
so God knows what that row was over, but it definitely stays in my mind as the Christmas that we nearly had toast for dinner.
Your mum's such a sweetheart. I just can't imagine her like hopping onto a turkey like.
She was, yeah, that's the thing. She was so desperate to save it because back then you used to have to like order your turkey like 3 weeks and 3 months in advance. I don't know. It was ever so strange. It always seemed like a big old palaver to me. I don't understand whether things are different now.
It cost a lot. If we ruin this, we can't get another one.
Yeah, that was why she was so like, oh my God, you know.
Dad was ready to just heave, just yeet that right over the fence.
She said she knew she would be the one that had to go around and fetch it, and that was the sheer willpower that was keeping her clinging on, because she was like, if that goes over the fence, like you say, she's shy, she's sweet, she's not knocking on the door and saying,
"Can I have my turkey back?"
Yeah,
my turkey put over the fence.
Yeah, one of the kids was messing about with the turkey and they've accidentally chucked it over. They've kicked the ball over, like, and then she is running out of a turkey, like.
And your neighbour goes out to get it and can see your dad on the other side just like pacing up and down, you know, angry.
Ready to lob it back.
Tennis racket. I will go to the pub.
But in terms of like embarrassing or, you know, bad stories, it is mainly ruining Christmas for other people. Like one time I got so drunk I fell asleep and my granddad's on the sofa, you know, like all the family's there and Christmas Day just continued without me. Things like that where it's just shameful stuff. It's not it. I suppose what it is I look back on these things and I'm like, well, that's not funny. That's not funny. It's not funny anymore. I'm just like, you ruined it for yourself for all that time. Yeah. And for other people, that's the bit that I find hard to deal with. Ruining it for myself's one thing. Ruining it for my mum or people that have put a lot of money and effort and time into trying to make it a nice day for everybody. That cuts deep now.
No, yeah, I fully get that. It's a hard time.
This weekend, though, one of the ladies that was out, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, but it was so funny. She got super, super excited in the escape rooms and was trying to cycle the bike and her heel flew off. And so she had to go home because she had no heel on her shoe.
Oh my God.
That was a kind of combination of ruining the night, drunken fun, drunken not so fun.
I see what you, when you first said her heel fell off, I think you meant her high heel came off.
Yeah,
I was like,
came off and I thought it was all hilarious until I realised how much it had upset her, and then obviously it ruined her night.
Can you imagine trying to walk on one?
And it was it was a big old, like quite a block heel. The boot was already, we were like, we'll smash the other one off and just walk off
like that.
Like, yeah.
No, I understand her. I get it. Once that happens, you're like, I'm going to be thinking about this all night. It's going to do my head in. Yeah. I'm going home.
And we're in the city next door to ours, so it's like an hour's trip for somebody to come over and fetch us. So. Yeah. But it was amusing. I'm not going to say your name and embarrass you, but it was good fun.
Very cool. I've never done an escape room. I'd really like to do one.
We escaped in 49 minutes. We did the
Did you? Is that why you're here right now?
Yes, indeed. I was still with a haunted toy shop, the Howitz haunted toy shop, and we were Ghostbusters, and we had to go in and break all the curses. It was great. Really, really good fun.
That's so cool. Just my anxiety about, I don't know the rules of that. I've never done it before. So my perception of what it is before doing it is still way higher than there really should be. I
mean, doing an escape rooms for me, being the non-drinker, was a dream come true because it was a night out and we were doing something. But for the drinkers of the group, it was a nightmare because all they could think was, I just want to be in the pub. When are we getting back to the drink? You know, so it's it's a really interesting topic in that respect because it's just your perspective that's going to decide on the outcome.
Yeah, I suppose people see their time as valuable. And it's like, I'm not having a drink right now.
Yeah, that's meant to be getting less. Whereas I was like,
let's go.
Yeah, we're using our brain.
So yeah, again, mine is just my family, and again, I drink a little bit with them. I'll have some like champagne and drink throughout the day with them, and it just gets to that point where people are like repeating each other and then talking over each other and like. My mum always gets to a point, and I'm sorry, Mum, I'm doing your day here. And Richard, you're both the pair of you, where they just start ignoring each other. Like they pull this face. One of them will talk and one of them will go. And the other one didn't even say anything that like ridiculous. Yeah. And the other one, and it'd be like, what does he know?
They probably can't even understand or hear each other anymore.
They're not listening to each other. They're not talking. And then I just, I don't even have to start an argument about like politics or anything. It just goes into, well, when you were younger, you told me that you loved your dad more. And it's like, oh.
That's something that I've got a problem with. is the whole bringing things up when they're drunk. It's like, if you want to talk to me about it, but not now.
Ain't it? If this clearly gets to you, bring it to me.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Have a good time. I might be sober, but just have a good time.
And my other pet peeve in that is when you tell the same story over and over again. And I don't mean in the same night. I mean, you've lived one life. You're my parents. You get a new story every few years, maybe, possibly. Yeah. I've heard them all. And I don't know if they tell them like I've not heard them before. Because they're looking at me like they're waiting for my reaction. Like, and then sometimes it's as little as like, when I last came for Sunday dinner, we literally spoke about that. And I don't want to be like halfway through it, like, or even at the start, I feel like I just be like, can we not tell the story about that? Can we not tell that?
And that's the thing, yeah, because then you come across as you're the one being rude.
Oh, I'm the Grinch, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but is that part of conversation then, just kind of being tolerant of the same?
Exactly. But to be honest, I can't drink to a point where that doesn't get annoying, so I don't know what the solution is there.
Yeah, maybe that's what I realised, that no amount of alcohol was going to cure my dislike for people. So
I just need to leave, go to bed, whatever the answer is. But before
I'm going to say, how are we going to wrap this up then? Are we going to wrap it up with somebody that we admire?
Yeah, so it was going to be someone we admire, but see the time. I've got one question that I really want to ask you, and it does relate to. Actually, I suppose they both relate to these videos. So I'll bring the videos up first. So the first one is walking the straight line. I don't know if anyone's seen her Instagram.
She's wicked.
I've realised that.
Her Instagram is gold. I will link it below. I'm assuming you can hear this. Right, okay. See what you think.
I have not been asked out once over the Christmas season. It's the only time you get to catch up.
Bad. I kept you out of the audio. Right.
I've realised that I have not been asked out once over the Christmas season. It's the only time you get to catch up if you work. And not one person has asked me out. And when I think about it, I actually can't remember the last time someone said to me, do you want to go out for a drink? And I used to get asked out a couple of times a week, if not more. Honestly, it made me feel upset at first. It really did. And then I thought, why?
When she was telling it, I thought she was about to be like, no one ever invites me out anymore. I'm just trying to think. Like, and I started hearing it being like, well, invite other people. And then I realised the point that she was making.
Yeah, people assume she doesn't want to go out.
But because I don't drink now. And when you said that, it just makes me feel, I was like, oh.
Why don't they want me to come out? Do they not think I'm fun? But then I thought, well, how would they know? Because no one's asked me out since I've been sober. No one has said, oh, come out for the evening with us. I might have had a few people sort of mention they were going out and say, I mean, I don't know if you still want to. I mean, that, or I'm just really boring, which is totally an option as well. You won't have to drag me home. You won't have to bundle.
No, that's not the option. That's definitely not the option.
I think this is just, it really highlights that mindset that this is how a sober person is. And actually, so many people have said about me, and she had a drink. You know, because you just wouldn't know, would you? If you didn't know I was sober, you would not know.
10 minutes before we started, my mum asked me if Lindsay had had a drink.
Proud about.
And that's literally, it's, again, I feel like her preconceptions of what sober is, and other people, she's like, am I not fun? Do people not think I'm fun? Where some people, I'm assuming, just think, why would you want to come out and do this with us?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's that social element. Like she says, I want to catch up with people. Yeah. And the first few hours is okay. Like, you know, when people are getting tipsy, if it helps them to speak and to loosen up, it's, you know, it's brilliant.
100%.
Do me in a taxi. You won't need an apology from me the next day for being so drunk. Unless, of course, that's what you actually liked about me. If you're a drinker, just please tell me, are you scared of sober people? Do we make you feel like we're kind of undercover cops coming into a house full of drug dealers? I just don't get it. So if you could just shed some light on that. And if it's because I'm boring because I'm not drunk, then I either need to really work on my social skills or get some new friends. So I'm here to launch a new campaign, and it's called #EvenSoberPeopleCanSocialise. I know it might not be that obvious, but Give it a go.
Wicked. I've not seen that one either.
I really like her content, and
Yeah,
I just
really do.
love how that ended off there. Yeah, but are you scared of us? I find that really interesting.
One of the other things I have brought it to, I don't want to continue too much. It's definitely a topic for another time. Is me being sober tends to bring out the I don't really drink that much. This is the only time I've drank all year, and people start to explain their drinking habits, and I'm like, whoa, I shan't said anything. It's
That's interesting.
definitely something I try to keep quiet because I can't be bothered with somebody offloading about their apparent non-addiction to alcohol. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, just understand that every time you do that, recognise that you're just highlighting someone's trigger a little bit of their own insecurities of like, something I feel like I should be doing, and
But that's the frustrating
thinking that
thing.
you're...
Yeah, it's quite frustrating because I don't want to keep talking about sobriety every time I'm out with people that are drinking, but it's the conversation that naturally, I'd like to stop drinking, or I don't think I've got a problem, and I'm like, oh God, this isn't why you just asked me why I was on this, and I've just said, I'm not drinking this year, let's now move on to the next topic, instead of it triggering your insecurity around it.
So that was literally going to pretty much be my last question. Now that you have not drank for this year and are considering possibly not doing it for the rest of whenever, do you judge people that don't want to take that path?
Not at all. I find it hard when people, it clearly doesn't suit them and it's clearly doing nothing for them. I find it quite hard to just sit back and be like, wow.
That doesn't come from a place of like judgment, I don't think. No. I feel like that comes from a place of caring. Because...
and wishing better for them.
Yeah.
No, I certainly don't, and because I genuinely believe everybody's having their own life experience and learning their own lessons in this lifetime, and it may well just not be your lifetime to learn that particular lesson, and that's absolutely fine. So I've learned recently that just by being and just by doing, it's enough. People that want to take inspiration from that can and will, and I don't need to kind of do any more than just shine the light.
Definitely. So if you've got a friend that is trying this sober, curious life, or they, for whatever reason, are not drinking, don't feel like you can't invite them out. Do not feel like they're judging you for drinking while you're with them. If someone has those boundaries, then allow them to set those boundaries for you. Don't assume that they're not okay. And don't assume that they're not going to have fun because they're not drinking.
Invite us.
Invite us out. We're a lot of fun. Right, my big forehead in this hat has had enough, and it's Christmas. Very soon. So we're going to let you get back to all your Christmas list, the things you've got to do. We know that if you're ADHD, that list has not been ticked off yet, so we're not going to take any more of your time. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy Christmas.
We'll see you on the other side of it. Hopefully we'll be in between Christmas and New Year.
Cute little hump time.
Yeah, I know. I actually wanted to do a quiz. I was going to suggest that we do a quiz in between Christmas and New Year.
I'm down.
Quiz night.
Well, I know. You make a quiz and I'll make a quiz.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. Does that even make sense?
No, we'll write a round each. We'll just do 2 rounds.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. And then you can join in with us.
Hey.
Kat says, what's her name? I need...
Oh, I was like, I thought she meant like, Kat says, what's her name? I was like, Kat? Like, what does she... I really heard that as Kat's asking what her own name is.
What's my name?
It's Walk in the Straight Line. That
yes.
Instagram account. Walk in the Straight Line. I'll tag you in one of her posts.
Yeah.
Kat.
It'll be linked down below as well as soon as I've put it on there. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Have a great time. See you for the quiz.
Yeah.
After Christmas. This is Lindsay.
And this is Steph.
We're a different human design.
And this is a different podcast. Good night.
Ciao.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we invite it. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we invite it. You don't agree, then